Up to my office.
Good morning. Welcome to the DISC user group. Thank you for attending today. My name is Lisa Bruhan, and with me are Lisa Sadawa, Steve Dion, and Rachel Simons, who many of you may know well. The purpose for today is to share with you as Wiley Everything DISC users, updates, news, and announcements from Wiley. We recently attended Wiley's Mind Lab conference in Denver and have some great stuff to share. For the start of our time together, we will share a quick presentation. If at any time you have questions, you can use the chat features simply by typing your message and hit send. We will answer all questions at the end. Please mute yourself by pressing the microphone button. To unmute yourself, press the microphone button again, but please remain on mute until the end if you have any questions. If at any time you have any technical issues, please use the chat box and I will do my best to help you through. I am now going to turn it over to Lisa Sadawa to start us off.
Good morning, everybody. This is Lisa Sadawa. Thanks for joining us this morning. So Wiley, you'll see as we go through the next couple slides, they've really, as they continually do such a great job at sharpening up their look of their products, you'll see that they're rolling out new assessments and they're having this focus on making a culture shift using all their various products. They have some new products coming out that we're really excited about, and we'll get into that. So this was kind of interesting. When we went to the conference, they talked a lot about how development of talent is shifting and how fast it's shifting. And as we all know, our world just keeps getting faster, busier, more complicated. It's getting bigger. We're able to do business across the globe in real time. It's not even fast enough on certain days that we're doing business globally. Artificial intelligence is no longer a thing that we used to dream about. It's here now, and it's just going to become more and more part of our professional worlds and even our personal worlds and our houses. And as a result of that, we're really starting to lose a lot of the human values, such as having empathy with one another, and in some cases, just basic common sense on how to solve a problem or handle a conflict with each other. And these types of skills are becoming more and more scarce. And you're starting to hear CEOs, the progressive CEOs, noticing it and talking about it. And Wiley certainly gets it. And we, as developers of talent, really need to keep pushing the development of emotional and social skills within our organizations and refocus our cultures to empower human values like empathy, like collaboration, like just good, healthy communication and conflict, and help people to self-think and discover better ways of doing things. So they changed their brand a little bit. The look of it, even, if you've noticed, they're going back to those bright colors, and you'll see some fresh faces and just a brighter look of it overall. And as we know, everything DISC and their products, it really ignites self-awareness on a pretty deep level for most people. And the more, and Wiley, they've had all these products out there for years and they keep adding them. And their vision has always been to help any individual, not just leaders, just not high potentials, but any individuals, even students, become more self-aware of themselves and appreciate others more. What's happened, what they've noticed, and now what they're really pushing towards, is taking that self-awareness and really helping shape and transform an organization's culture. By building self-awareness, people will gain a genuine understanding and appreciation of others. And this will create a very authentic human connection amongst everybody in your organization, and even outside of the organization with clients and vendors and other people, family members and friends. It's kind of contagious. And it's those human connections that the Wiley products have created that will really transform a culture. And this is a video that we love. We can't watch it enough. That'll show you Wiley's new culture focus.
Discovery lives at the heart of the human experience, inspiring us, connecting us, moving us forward. In a world that pushes us to go further and faster, we've reached a moment where the pace of discovery is overwhelming. The human element is getting lost. To continue creating, innovating, and driving human progress, we must be able to build workplace cultures that inspire discovery. And it starts with reconnecting to ourselves and to each other. We are Everything DISC, and we believe an organization's true potential lies within its people. We believe in a workplace culture that embraces the power of our diverse strengths and styles. We believe that when we enable authentic human connections, something powerful happens. We unlock our potential and reconnect to our real selves. We find genuine appreciation of others and take on new perspectives. We build more collaborative cultures, one interaction at a time. We are Everything DISC. Discover the power of we.
So discovering that power, Wiley.
What are the first words you should say in a speech? And what are the last words you should say in a speech?
Sorry about that. So the Everything DISC product family, what's great about it is that it's got an assessment or a tool for multiple levels of individuals within an organization. So anyone in an organization can take an Everything DISC, and that's where Wiley started, was just with the basic workplace assessment. And last year they added the productive conflict assessment, which shows you, based on your DISC style, how do you handle productive conflict? And Steve is going to show you some more details on that assessment. But those are for anyone in an organization, an individual contributor up to an executive. And then for leaders, there is the Everything Work of Leaders, which is a great tool showing a leader how well they balance vision, alignment, and execution. And again, of course, incorporating their DISC style and building awareness of how they show up in their DISC style affects those three quadrants of being a leader. And then they have a really nice 363 for leaders, and again, incorporating that DISC style. And then for managers, I know some of you on the phone use a lot of this one, the Everything DISC management, where it takes the Everything DISC, the basic Everything DISC, but layers management competencies around it. And then I don't know if you guys know this, but they also have an everything disc sales, which is a really cool tool for sales organizations and salespeople and sales leaders, where it takes an individual's disc style and it shows them based on their style, how do they naturally sell and how to read a client's style and how to make the fit from there. So when you look at all of these products laid out, and they have some new ones coming up too, which we'll get to, it really, and if you're using these and embedding these within your organization and your talent development strategy and initiatives, it really starts to build human connections and human awareness on a consistent level with consistent language. And some of our clients are really seeing some cool outcomes based on that. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to my partner and friend, Steve Dion, who's going to share with you probably the most exciting part, the new tools.
Thank you, Lisa. As we look at this suite of products, and you can see from this slide, one of the things that we're trying to do is to flip the idea of a learner saying, I've done DISC, to the idea of saying, I've started DISC. That this is really a life cycle of an employee, and being able to track throughout an organization and time in life a customized assessment that fits what you're trying to learn at this particular time. Like, as Lisa mentioned, workplace. There may be other times then you'd become a manager. A couple years later, you do management. A couple years later, you do work of leaders. So the idea of this being a suite of products and creating a culture in an organization that uses the language of DISC throughout all worker groups is really the power we're trying to harness with this. And we're excited to see that they've added another dimension to this, which is called the 5 behaviors personal development. And so as history, I guess, to ground you in this, Wiley had as a partnership with the Table Group and probably the best known author on team development, the 5 dysfunctions of a cohesive team, and created a product made for intact work teams. And I know many of you on the phone have used this as well, to help an intact work team function better. And typically the application for that is mid to senior level teams taking an assessment. We embed DISC in it now with the 5 behaviors questions, and it's a really rich analysis and dialogue. With this idea of creating a culture catalyst, Wiley's created this new product for personal development. And the notable difference is that this is helping a learner learn how to function on a team using the same language and skills as this tried and true 5 behaviors model with the 5 dimensions of a team. So this will allow organizations to have open enrollment classes. You don't have to be an intact work team, and build skill to help you understand how you can better function on a team. One of the things that we've learned is many organizations are spending a lot more time doing work in teams, matrix teams, agile teams, virtual teams, global teams. So individuals are sitting on many different teams simultaneously, and that's how work is getting done. So this tool is a half-day facilitation and a customized assessment to help any level in an organization to understand particularly how you show up related to building trust, managing conflict, gaining commitment, ensuring accountability, and gaining results. This is a snapshot of a page from the assessment. The assessment uses core DISC questions, and we've been able to map those tenets to these 5 areas within the team functionality. And this is similar, for those of you that know DISC well, this is similar to page 4 in the other reports where you read the 1-page narrative and you say, wow, this really nailed me to a T. It describes everything about me. How did they know that with 10 or 20 questions? If you look underneath each of these are customized items that would show for this example person how they show up related to each of these 5 areas. So really powerful, and helps a learner really understand how they show up from a team perspective. Digging deeper, this is an example within the trust area of an exercise that you would do and additional self-awareness that you would have about why you may or may not build trust. So based on your self-style, do you fear disapproval? Do you fear being perceived as naive? And so in the assessment and the facilitation that comes about, individuals understand their natural tendencies and they're able to adjust accordingly. So we're really excited about this tool. I just wanted to let you know before I move into the next tool that this is 25 credits for this product. And there is a facilitation kit that we've tried and piloted with some clients already with great success in the beta testing upfront methodology to build this, and it literally was launched like a week ago. We're just getting the kits right now. The facilitation kits are $1,495, and as you've done with other kits, you buy it, you put the jump drive in, you're ready to go. Second tool I wanted to bring up, it's not quite as new. It didn't launch this week. It actually launched about a year ago, but we're finding many of our clients are still not aware of the productive conflict assessment, and particularly how you would use that in conjunction with or apart from everything DISC workplace. So I wanted to sort of reground the group in this, and we found such great success with it over the last year that we are really suggesting that people take a harder look at this, because it really has been a pretty powerful tool. In the area of conflict in general, there have been some old assessments, 20, 30, 40 years old, like the Thomas Kilmann instrument, and it has not changed over the course of time. This is really fresh, it's new, and it uses a cognitive behavioral learning model to help a learner unpack how they show up under times of conflict, which can be when you're stressed, you're anxious, you think very differently. So similar to other DISC products, it has the circumplex, and what you can see on the outside for the priorities is that it's putting the priorities in the context of areas around conflict. So an S values harmony in conflict situations, an I values expression, etc. So it's a great tool that can be an add-on assessment, whether you've taken management, work of leaders, or any other tool or product, to be able to help you understand how you show up. This would be an example of specifically thinking about conflict. And in DISC workplace, there is some overlap in the idea of orienting you to style and how you might interact with others. But you can see this is very targeted and specific to things like in conflict, what are your goals during conflict? What do you overuse? What do you fear? And it really helps unpack and understand how you might handle a situation. And what we have found is many organizations really still struggle with productively handling conflict. What's very unique about the assessment too is both in the assessment and the facilitation kit is it helps you understand and identify healthy and unhealthy behaviors that might be your natural tendency during conflict. So you can identify them, understand that you do that, build awareness, and be able to create strategies to overcome that. And specifically how that is done in the facilitation is using this cognitive behavioral learning model. We teach in the class that when you have a conflict, you have an automatic thought, and a lot of those automatic thoughts come from your natural style, which you can identify in your assessment. And we teach you to stop, step back, and reframe, why are you thinking that way? Understand what's going on in the situation and not victimizing or villainizing all the parties involved, and then create a new healthy, productive response. So it's a really rich set of facilitation, and participants get a great deal out of it. The other reason why we're bringing it up is that Wiley has created a promotion from now until October 31st. So we wanted to share this with you, that they're so supportive of this tool and they understand how well it fits in the suite of tools, that if you've had any other learner take any of the assessments within the DISC suite, workplace, sales, management, etc., that normally it's 20 credits to purchase this. If you do an add-on assessment from somebody who's taken an assessment between now and Halloween, it will be 15 credits charged instead of 20. So if you're thinking about using this tool and you're thinking about using it as an add-on for maybe managers or a group that took Workplace a year or two ago and they need a refresher, instead of doing a refresher with Workplace, we'd suggest that you focus on conflict and you have the ability to do this at a substantially reduced rate. So those are the two products we wanted to share today. If you have any questions at all on any product that we've talked about today or we haven't talked about, Lisa or I or Rachel would be happy to answer any questions that you have. You can also look on our website and see thumbnails and pull down PDFs of any report or assessment if you're wondering what is in any of the products or tools. So now we're going to turn our focus to some important areas on how you can more effectively administer assessments through our EPIC system, and I will turn you over to Rachel.
Hey everyone, I just wanted to go over a couple of things. These are, EPIC is a really robust tool, and if there are tools within EPIC that can make administering assessments significantly easier, if you're not aware of those tools, these may help. The first one is multi-user. So you are able to have more than one user assigned to the account. This can be really helpful because you can have, if anybody else needs to access reports and process reports or send assessments out, it'll all access the same account. They will just have their own logins, and EPIC will keep track of who is sending what out, and you're able to run reports, find out if a department is running more reports than another one, that type of thing. So there's all different tools within EPIC to help you keep track of that, audit it. But again, it just kind of makes it easier so there isn't a bottleneck of just one person accessing the account. The next thing is batch functions. So batch functions is a tool within EPIC that allows you to change features within reports that you've sent out. It also lets you send out and process reports as a large volume. You don't have, in other words, you're not doing it individually. You can do a large group of them at one time. This is really helpful if you are utilizing the myeverythingdisc.com tool, because what you're able to do is if you launch assessments and you choose at the time you launch it that you don't want anyone to see the results, you can still set the viewing to no. But then after you do your workshop and you want people to be able to access their reports online, you can go back in, you can select all the members of that particular group, and you can switch it all to yes. And then you can also enable the myeverythingdisc.com features so that they're able to see the full report on the website, they're able to do comparisons, and they're able to download the report from there as well. So it's a really good tool that if you want to go back in and change settings on multiple reports, you can do that. The next one are access codes. So the access codes are really useful, and each assessment that's sent out through EPIC is assigned an access code. The reason that these are so useful is, one, you're able to, if you copy that link, the assessment link, the www.wileyepic.com, if you paste that in an email and then you paste an access code in the email, you can actually send it from an internal email address. If you're doing a pre-hire assessment and there's a series of things that somebody has to complete, instead of sending another email from EPIC, you can actually embed it in an email that you're sending someone, instead of avoiding having to send multiple emails to somebody and it going to spam or whatever. Cuts down on that confusion. Also, if they want to add reports to myeverythingdisc.com, they would add them using the access codes. So if you have any questions or want to know how to access those codes, give me a call, email me, and I'm happy to walk you through it. But those codes are really useful in tracking down reports, uploading them, and accessing them if for whatever reason they can't get the email from EPIC. And then lastly, use existing reports so you're actually able to send out assessments using existing reports within EPIC. So if you've already had a team do workplace and now you want to send the same team productive conflict, you can actually send that productive conflict using the existing workplace reports. And what that does is it sends the participant a shortened version of the assessment. They will only receive questions pertaining to productive conflict rather than having to take the whole DISC assessment again. So it sends them, this is actually our preferred method if you're resending out assessments, because it cuts down on the time that they have to do to take because you'll get a lot of, because sometimes you send a question, I get a lot of this question myself, is if I send a workplace and then I send a productive conflict, I will get the question, I think I'm doing the exact same assessment I did a minute ago. It's a different assessment. It just contains a lot of the same questions. So this will shorten the time that they have to take it, less questions. And then if that person already has their assessment uploaded into myeverythingdisc.com and you send it out this way, it will upload that to myeverythingdisc.com as well. So it kind of cuts down on that one step. So if you do take advantage of that workplace and productive conflict promotion from Wiley, this is how you would launch those to take advantage of that. So, but if you have any questions on how to use any of these tools, how to use Epic or anything at all, please don't hesitate to contact me. Like I said, it's a very robust tool and it can really work well for you if you use it the way it's intended to. So don't ever hesitate to call. Let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, getting into events and resources. This is great news. For those of you that are SHRM credential holders, Wiley has been approved to award PDCs to you for their certifications. So if any of you are interested in that or learning more details about that, definitely give us a call. The PDCs are pretty high. There's two ways to get certified. One is virtual, and it's over 4 weeks. It's here's current dates that they have scheduled right now. We're waiting for dates for the last part of this year. But the virtuals, it's 1 day a week, 4 weeks in a row. And the PDCs for virtual are 15 PDCs. And the in-person, if you just want to get it over with, you can do a 2-day in-person, either in Minneapolis or we're offering one in Detroit, July 17th and 18th. And it's 2 days, facilitated learning. You get to really practice with other people. And the in-person is also 15 PDCs. There's also a third way you can learn more about DISC. It's not a certification, but it's called the Everything DISC Essentials, and it provides just foundational DISC knowledge. It's self-paced, and it takes about 2 to 3 hours online. It's not a certification, but it's a good way to freshen up your DISC skills. Or if you have someone on your team that maybe a certification, the timing or something isn't right, it's a good way to introduce them to the tools. And that's 3 PDCs too. So they're also offering PDCs for the Essentials course. And again, if you have any interest in any certifications, just let us know. It's very easy for us to get you signed up. So some resources that are at your fingertips is, Wiley always is offering opportunities to beta test the new products. Like Steve mentioned, we did a beta for the new 5 behaviors, personal development. It's free. Their betas, Wiley doesn't charge for the assessments or the materials. One of their betas they're doing right now I think they're in phase 2, that we may reach out to a couple of you, or if you think you might have interest, let us know. But they're looking at rolling out an EQ assessment called Agile EQ. From what we've seen, it's really cool. It's again based in DISC, but they're about halfway through that beta. And then the other one is a project called, they call it Project Root Beer. I can't remember the reason behind that, the cute reason behind that, but it's called Project Root Beer. And it's for users, it's for people that have taken the Everything DISC Management Assessment in English. If you have some people that have done this, or you have done this, at no charge, we can get you in this beta where you'll receive access to a personalized online skill builder. It's called Managing Up. It's pretty cool. And the learners will come away with some ideas on how to improve the relationship with their manager. It expires the end of the month. We need, I don't know how many more we need to sign up, but we'd love it if you're interested. So let us know. And again, it's free. And those learners that have taken the Everything DISC Management in English will get that free online skill builder and maybe learn a few things or two at no charge.
And unlike other betas where it's a classroom class and you have to invest prepping and teaching it, in this case, this is meant to be an add-on value-added, tool that Wiley's thinking about for any product to say, after you've done a classroom assessment, then we will give you skill building workshops at no cost, and they're 20, 30 minutes self-paced. So in this case, all you would need to do is send out to those folks that have had the assessment through Epic. They get a link to watch the video and get feedback about, did that help do skill building? So it's not a lot of investment on your end. So if you have a group that's done DISC management, could be a value-added win-win for you.
And it might just be cool for you guys to look at, even yourself. I think all of you have taken the DISC management, just yourselves. Wiley's looking at this, trying to add additional value to each one of their products. And they started with that My Everything DISC, where it's a learning platform that you can go on. All your assessments are downloaded to that, and you can just continually learn from whatever workshop you went through or whatever assessment you took. So these skill builders is another way Wiley's looking to add value to the one-day or half-day workshop. Don't forget about Wiley's research report. It's pretty in-depth, but it really shows you all the psychometrics and all that fun stuff behind their assessments. And really, they invest a lot on their validation and their studies behind the reports. Also, remember the comparison reports. You can order those through Epic, and they're still at no charge, where you could take one person's DISC workplace and compare it to another person's DISC workplace. And it's a great report that shows the two individuals where they're aligned and where possibly while they're working together, they might have some rubs. And more importantly, what they can do about that. And again, those are still no credits, they're free. Wiley's continually coming out with more languages, not as fast as we would like them to. The latest one is the DISC management that is now in Spanish. And we'll try to keep you updated as they roll out. We do have our shopping cart on our website, drostygroup.com, and the languages for the products are on that shopping cart as well. And we encourage you to purchase through the shopping cart as well. And we haven't talked about this a lot, but Wiley, I don't know, about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, they bought an assessment company out of Texas called Profiles, which was known mostly for their pre-hire assessment. And Wiley took that assessment and did their magic with it. And it is a very powerful pre-hire assessment that measures both cognitive ability and learning agility. It's really strong. If it's something you're interested in, let us know. Again, reminding you to make sure all your participants are signed up for My Everything DISC. And as always, if you have any questions or needs, we're at your fingertips. Just give us a call. And with that, we will go to questions.
At this time, we're going to move over to questions and answers. If you have any questions, please type them in the chat box. If your question, it will be announced. And if that is your question, at that time, we ask that you unmute yourself, and then we will answer your question at that point. So please, if you have any questions, type them in the chat box. We have a question. The question is, where can we access the Wiley Research Report?
I can take that one. There is a physical book actually that they published that looks really nice, if you will, and you know, it's 3/4 size, which we could mail you one, but we have it in a PDF format as well. If you ask Rachel, she can send it to you. I'm not sure. We may actually have it on our shopping cart as a tool to download. And if not, you know, we'll just take that action to put it on there as a learning portal. So if you want it immediately, ask Rachel. It comes as a PDF. I think it's probably like 50, 70 pages or something. Or we could send you a book. If somebody's really all about the validity, it is pretty impressive. The question number 2 here, further plans with work of leaders in Spanish, is that coming in the near future?
Hi, Fernando, this is Lisa. At the Denver conference, that was a very popular topic, not just work of leaders, but productive conflict and some of the other tools being in Spanish. And all they told us at Denver was that they're working on it. So when that comes available, you're one of our first people on our list to reach out to. There's a lot of people asking for that.
I think there's probably a higher likelihood of work of leaders being next. If you were asking about sales, we'd say probably don't hold your breath, but work of leaders has already been translated in a few other languages. So they're prioritizing workplace, then work of leaders, then management. And so fingers crossed that'll happen sooner than later. We also have our 4-part skill building work of leaders program that we have actually translated those into Spanish. So for some clients, they've taken the assessment in English and had it sort of proctored to help them, but then the facilitation materials, we've invested with another client that wanted to do our 4-part work of leaders program. We invested with them to get all the materials, participant guides in Spanish. So if you have any questions about that, I wanted to see it, let us know. How do you sign up to be a beta tester is the next question. Email Rachel. Many times what Lisa or I or Rachel will do is proactively reach out to a client when we know there's this beta out there and just say, who do we think might be interested? And sometimes people will just say, you know what, if the window that's open is these 3 weeks, it just doesn't fit into our schedule. Thanks, but no thanks. We'll ask you again and again. But we like to keep a list of organizations that say, hey, I would love to do that. And then we will reach out to you as they come up and as we learn about them. And most of our clients that have done betas really appreciate the idea to get kind of the heads up on, hey, would I want to use this tool? And then of course, free assessments and free learning, you know, it's great.
Sign me up.
So just email Rachel, or if you have a relationship with Lisa or I, just let us know and we'll keep it tracked. What else would anybody like to know? And if it's too long to type, feel free to just unmute and talk too as well. One of our goals with doing these proactively is to ensure that as a value-added service to you all as our clients, that you know what's out there, the tools and resources, and just sometimes it's out of sight, out of mind. So if after this, if you later go, you know, does this come in this language? Anytime you have questions about it, just let us know. Or if you want to get a sneak peek at a facilitation kit before you're ready to buy one, understand what that looks like. Like, for example, we didn't even mention this under the productive conflict, but we've paired our previous conflict skill building class with Wiley's new productive conflict assessment. So you can run the productive conflict assessment and facilitation out of the box with the kit as a half-day workshop. But Terry Schell, our manager of learning, has added another half day that pairs really well. You could do it all in one straight day, or you could do it as a part 1 and part 2, where the afternoon is skill building activities after you've learned this self-awareness on your conflict style, and it helps you build skills based on some great research that has been out there on the Vital Smarts crucial conversations type model. And that would be something you wouldn't even know about. So if you're ever asking yourself, hey, how might I use these tools in collaboration with other tools to create a learning program and not a one and done, we would love to give you ideas. We'll give it just another 20-30 seconds, and if there's no other questions, we can close up. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for your time. Hopefully this helps add to your knowledge base and how to use the tools that you already have at your disposal. We'd love any feedback that you have related to the value of something like this in a virtual learning environment and how often you think you'd like to do this. So feel free to give us any feedback, and we're going to continue to do as many learning activities as you all would like.
Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.